to help us celebrate. This is the 15th year for the Athens Commission on Disabilities. It's been a long run. It's going to have a much longer run ahead of it. What a great commission that it is. I'm going totally off script, as you may know. Yeah. Because the Commission on Disabilities is advisory to the mayor as well as city council and have a real vital function for the city of Athens. This is what I've been told to say, that I am Steve Patterson, the mayor of Athens. And that I've just recently reelected with a landslide. I didn't write this. The Athena Award. That's what we're here for tonight. The Athena Award is the only official award that the city bestows upon anybody. It started as the Service Award some years ago, and when I became part of the Commission on Disabilities and as a city council member at large, but then also became the mayor of Athens, I kept looking at that and going, it just doesn't have the same level of impact keeping that name of the Service Award, and so the Commission on Disabilities opted to change it to the Athena Award for the city of Athens. So again, it's the only award that's given. You're going to be amazed by the phenomenal work of our nominees and how they are change agents for people who live with disabilities and with different abilities. These 4 nominees have made a life in Athens and beyond better for them, their families, and friends. We salute. If you're able to stand, please stand. And if you are not, at least please raise or wave your hand. Barbara Conover. Barbara is the Executive Director of the Athens Village, a community working together to help persons remain in their own homes. Thank you, Barbara. Stephanie Morse, Director of both the Central Ohio Music Therapy and the Athens County Community Singers, where she helps adults with disabilities transition successfully through music. Passion Works Studio. All of you, please stand. As a lot of you know, Passion Works Studio is a collaborative community arts center where makers work and thrive. And Dr. J.W. Smith. Professor of Communication Studies, Disabilities Researcher, Policy Impactor, Author, and Boundary Transcender. All of us, including our families, friends, colleagues, are here to support you all and to celebrate your accomplishments. Again, thank you. I'm not going to turn this around quite yet. That'd be a giveaway. This is the Athena Award. The Athena Award is named for Athena, or Athene, the shrewd companion of heroes and the goddess of heroic endeavor in Greek mythology. She is the goddess of wisdom, courage, inspiration, and justice. The Athena Award recognizes achievement in one or more of the following areas: improving the quality of life, advocating for issues, making a positive impact through volunteerism, developing new programs or services, offering exceptional customer service, or demonstrating innovation or entrepreneurship that has a positive impact. On behalf of the City of Athens and the Commission on Disabilities, many thanks to each of you for your roles, the roles you play and have played over the years to demonstrate what can be accomplished with such things as caring and innovation, that has been demonstrated by Barbara Conover. Energy and skills that's been demonstrated by Stephanie Morris. Creative partnerships that's been demonstrated by PassionWorks. And research and advocacy as that demonstrated by Dr. J.W. Smith. Again, another round of applause, please. For these 4 nominees, there's more that you'll hear about in a little bit from those introducing them this evening. Rita Holzer, for Barbara Conover, Dr. Camille Geist for Stephanie Morris, Dr. Diane Bouvier for PassionWorks Studio, and Dr. Jerry Miller for Dr. J.W. Smith. So please join me again in congratulating all nominees that have made the first cut. But more importantly, for doing the important work that they all do. It makes a huge difference for the quality of life for those to which they serve. Now, it's my great pleasure to invite Ohio University Executive Vice President and Provost Shadin Jalali to the podium. The City of Athens and Ohio University have a long and storied partnership made stronger by the support of administrators such as President Dwayne Nellis and Provost Jalali. Dr. Jalali accepted a position here at Ohio University in August of 2018 from the University of Iowa as the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. He earned a BS and master's degree in physics from the University of Paris, a doctorate in nuclear physics from IPN Orsay in Paris, and a postdoctorate degree with highest honors from IPN Orsay. We are delighted to have you with us, and now here is part of our community, and that is the community of Athens. Dr. Jalali, we're great that you're here representing the senior administration and Ohio University. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. You're welcome. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Good evening, everyone. Thanks to all of you for the opportunity to join you this evening. I bring you greetings on behalf of President Nellis and Ohio University. We are honored to take part in this unique ceremony to recognize individuals, organizations, and agencies who are making a difference in the lives of our fellow citizens with different abilities, right here in our community of Athens. Ohio University and the Athens City Commission on Disability have built a strong partnership to address issues related to those with disability, whether it's initiatives like improving pedestrian safety around the community, providing services to persons with disabilities, educating the public through vehicles like the Disabilities Conversation on WOUB, advocating for state and national policies that consider the needs of the individuals of all abilities, preparing the next generation of teachers, social workers, and medical professionals to serve those living with disabilities. This partnership is vitally important to us. Ohio University has been part of the Athens community from the very beginning. Many of our students, faculty, and staff are residents. Some of us live with disabilities, whether temporary or permanent. As town and gown, we're deeply intertwined. Ohio University values inclusivity, and we value our community. And we are pleased to stand with Mayor Patterson and the City of Athens to ensure that all individuals, regardless of their abilities, have the same opportunities to participate in the vibrant life of this community. A vital part of this work is recognizing those individuals, businesses, and other organizations who are working tirelessly to improve the quality of life of those with disabilities. whether through volunteering, innovating new programs or services, advocating on important issues, or providing exceptional customer service. So this evening, I'm pleased to join with all of you to honor and congratulate this year's nominees for the 5th Annual Athena Award. Through your efforts, all of you make the university and Athens community a better place for people with different abilities. And again, on behalf of Ohio University, I want to express our deep appreciation to the Commission on Disabilities for the work you do to improve the quality of life for people with disabilities in our community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jalali. And please, express our appreciation to Dr. Dwayne Nellis as well, President Nellis. We are fortunate to have the Commission on Disabilities guided by excellent leadership and commitment. The chair, David McNally, affectionately called Davey. Where is Davey? There he is, somewhere on the stage. Davey is the Social Services Assistant at the Athens County Board of Developmental Disabilities. He attended Jackson, Ohio schools, earned a bachelor's degree from, we won't hold you, they'll hold this against you, Miami University in Oxford. I think there's an important event tonight dealing with your alma mater. And a master's degree from the University of Washington in St. Louis. He is a licensed social worker. Davey will welcome you on behalf of the City of Athens Commission on Disabilities. Davey. Thank you.
And also thanks for all your past work on the commission as well. As many of you know, Steve served on the Commission of Disabilities for a number of years. So hello and welcome to the 5th Annual Athena Award, a time to recognize the citizens in the Athens community who impact lives every day. Those who have disabilities and those who do not, who are temporarily able-bodied, as we like to call them, TABs. It's my pleasure to have served as a commissioner for almost 3 years now and as acting chair over the last year. I would like to acknowledge other commissioners here. We have Noah Tremblay, who serves as the treasurer. Well, I'll go through it and then we can do an applause. Scott Dennis, who's here. Rose Dekas, maybe you can make it. Barry Dilley, Dr. Carolyn Lewis, Patrick McGee, Maxine Rantain, and the mayor for continuing to provide oversight for the commission. And especially thank you to everyone who serves on the Education and Outreach Committee and the 2019 Athena Award Committee. The co-chairs of this committee are Dr. Carolyn Lewis and Barry Dilley, which we really appreciate, and they often give us a chuckle about their teamwork. Barry says if you know Barry Dilley, she has like a zillion ideas, so many ideas. And then Dr. Lewis just kind of tries to organize everyone. And she facilitates them. That's correct. And for them both, we know it's a labor of love, and we on the full commission just really appreciate this committee for doing such great work over the last 2 years. Other Education and Outreach Committee members here are Joan Butcher. I think I saw Joan earlier. Oh, there. Thank you, Joan. Rose Dekas, who's not here. Samara Dower. Patricia Ercolino. Claire Geisigum. And Maxine Rantain. This commission increases awareness of and garners greater community participation within the commission, engages with civic and other groups, as well as the media. They developed some really exciting print pieces that you probably found on your seats tonight that better educate the community about our work, and they recognize outstanding service on behalf of those with disabilities, so really appreciate that. The full commission meets the third Wednesday of each month, except in December, from 5:30 to 6:30 at the Community Center. You're welcome to attend. It's open to the public. Most of our work is accomplished through committees. We have 5 committees: executive, accessibility, advocacy, communications, and education and outreach. Any interested community members may join a committee, and we strongly encourage your participation, and we need you. The modern disability rights movement, the civil rights movement for people with disabilities, was brought forth by people like us sitting in this room together, who want a more just, equitable, and accessible world for everyone. So, yeah, we need you on these committees to serve and to help us move forward. And Mayor Patterson will speak more about this later. If you would like to place your name in nomination to be a member of the commission, the criteria are on our website under the City of Athens, and their appointments are made during the fall of each year. Resumes can be sent to the mayor's office. Welcome again, and thank you for sharing your evening with us.
Thank you, Davey. You know, to help us all look back on the 15 years that the Commission on Disabilities has been in existence, joining us tonight is the former mayor of the City of Athens, Mayor Rick Abel. He served for 8 years at large as an at-large council member. Following that, he was a 6-year president of council. He was elected mayor in 1998 and served until the very beginning of 2008. He is an Athens High School graduate, earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from The Ohio University. Thank goodness that wasn't trademarked, right? The word "the." In Business Administration. Since returning from public service, he has been an active community citizen and is the founding member of the Housing for Athens Senior Residents Board of Directors. He also, just to share with you, is the individual who he named the first individuals to the Commission on Disabilities in 2004. Former Mayor Rick Abel.
There's always a certain amount of danger in my topic of reflections of the beginning of the Disability Commission because it's so broad, but I'm going to stick probably to one of the more important things as it happens. As mayor, you get approached by many people about, they want something, they're passionate about something, they see a need. And a mayor can meet that in many different ways. You know, some of them are relatively easy. I remember when Passion Works came to me and said, we really want to be the official flower of the city of Athens. And we're starting sales in 3 weeks, you know, or something like that. It's close to that. And I said, well, we can't get an ordinance through council in 3 weeks. It's impossible. So how about a mayor's proclamation? I'll declare it the official city flower. They said, fine. And I guess that's held on for quite a few years now. So that's the easy way. But when I first met with Barry Deli, and I had not really known Barry prior to that, but I quickly found out that, you know, her direction was a little different than just a mayor's proclamation or a committee brought together to make a report to city council or to me. She wanted something permanent. And if you're going to be permanent, you're going to be in the code of the city of Athens, Ohio. And as we talked about back then, that takes a lot of time and effort because words really do matter. And when you write the ordinance that describes what the Disability Commission is doing, how it's going to function and everything, That's why it took a couple of years from the time we first met and talked about it to when it became a reality in February of, I think it was 2004. But there are some things here that I have to reflect upon too, is that there are a few people in this world that's very hard to say no to. Barry is one of those. But there is also a few people in the world that are really good to work with, and she is also one of those, and I compliment her for that. But a couple little stories that, happened, because one of the things once we got that done, and it was time for me to start making appointments, and I had suggestions made to me, but I remember coming and I knew Don Dillinger, because we were members of the same church, and we went back a few years. And I talked to Don, and I said, I really want you to be on this Commission for Disabilities. And he said, well, Rick, I've been on different boards and commissions, and sometimes I just get to thinking they want somebody disabled on there so they can, I want to do something. I don't want to serve on a board or a commission unless it really can be effective. And I remember saying to Don, that's up to the members and the law under which it's written. And I think if the members of the commission really want to get some things done here in the city of Athens, if they're determined, they can do it. And I think that that's what the real reflection of 15 years is it really is on not only the founding members and the council members that voted for it, or Debbie Phillips that sponsored the ordinance, but it's on the commission members who have wrestled with how do we accomplish things under the codes of the city and the state of Ohio, and how do we get things done. And it's really a tribute to them, all of them that have ever served, that we're really in celebration of today. And I thank you very much for me allowing me to come and express my thoughts to all of you tonight. Thank you.
In such a great way. Davey, if you would join me on this side of the stage to receive the proclamation. Speaking of proclamations, Office of the Mayor, proclamation. Whereas in 1998, Barry Dilley and her sister Clarissa Campbell began inquiries about available services for people with disabilities in Athens and met with Mayor Rick Abel December 9th of 2002. And whereas in 2003, a group of interested and dedicated citizens, led by current Athens City Commission on Disabilities Commissioner Barry Dilley and her sister Clarissa Campbell, realized the need for a city commission to address the concerns of people with disabilities in the Athens community, and formed an accessibility task force with HAVAR, an organization that helps people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And whereas former city councilwoman and Ohio legislator Debbie Phillips ushered the legislation through Athens City Council, and the ordinance was passed February 16th of 2004. And whereas in May of 2004, former Mayor Rick Abel appointed the first commission, and Cindy Acker, Dr. Joe Berman, Clarissa Campbell, Barbara Conover, Tim Dansfield, Mitch Daughtery, Scott Davis, Barry Dilley, Don Dillinger, Kathy Hecht, Larry Jagman, Chris Nisley, Lauren Miller, Diane Palf, Lisa Simpson, Dr. J.W. Smith, and Mike Turner, among many others. They were instrumental in writing the bylaws, the ordinance, or serving on the early commission. And whereas the Athens City Commission on Disabilities provides the means for the concerns of people with disabilities to be heard advocates for public policy change, provides expertise to the community of people with disabilities, tells the community about the strengths and limitations of people with disabilities, as well as how our community can help provide their quality of life, thereby ensuring equality of opportunity and full participation in community life for everyone. Now, therefore, I, Steve Patterson, the mayor of the city of Athens, Ohio, do hereby proclaim November 6th, 2019, as Athens City Commission on Disabilities Days to commemorate the Commission's 15th anniversary and acknowledge the past and the current endeavors of the Commission and those who serve to give direct voice to city government on issues that directly affect the lives of people with different abilities. Now we have something really special. If we could have Barry Dilly come up on the stage, please. As has been mentioned, Barry has been really a beacon out there for people with disabilities, has been a huge voice, an advocate for people with disabilities. She certainly keeps the mayors on point, and I say mayors is plural, because I know that Barry was very strong in advocating for people with all abilities, with former Mayor Paul Weil, as well as Rick Abel, and as well as myself. So Barry, we have something special for you. Let me read this. You guys are hearing from me a lot tonight. City of Athens Commendation, Barry Dilly, founding and current commissioner. Clarissa Campbell, posthumously. The City of Athens and the Commission on Disabilities commend Barry Dilly for your foresight and exemplary work on behalf of people with disabilities. In 1998, you began seeking help and guidance in the process of inquiring about who, what, where, and how services for people with disabilities and their caregivers, and you attempted to assist your 65-year-old sister, Clarissa Campbell, whom had multiple disabilities, and your mother, who was 97 years old. Clarissa was born with 100% of her eyesight and hearing. She was declared legally blind by the age of 13 by doctors who discovered that she had a brain tumor. Despite being legally blind, Clarissa had some of her vision and could hear. She attended college, earned a master's degree in speech and language and social work. In 1997, Clarissa had lost more of her vision and a good portion of her hearing. She served on the Minneapolis Committee on Disabilities for 7 years before moving back to Athens. In 2002, you met with Mayor Rick Abel, and in 2003, you said to him, "Let's have a commission on disabilities." And I can still hear that voice. Because you said it was hard. It was hard to keep yourself together, let alone go to all the agencies asking for assistance. Your initial desire for the city of Athens, and still is, to have a center for independent living. Your persistence and steadfastness led to the Commission's creation and the passing of the ordinance on February 16, 2004. Motivated by your sister, Clarissa, who served on disabilities commissions in both Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Salisbury, Maryland. And the two of you together helped inspire and helped bring people together about the City of Athens Commission on Disabilities. You quoted, "I did the footwork, but it was her passion and her service that made it clear to me this was important." On Wednesday, November 6th, 2019, You and Clarissa posthumously are commended for making a noted difference in the lives of people with disabilities and for demonstrating how to make all lives valuable and productive. Today we stand here with you and Clarissa's shoulders on your shoulders. We honor you and we thank you. To present those who made nominations or support our nominees is Dr. Carolyn Bailey Lewis, one of my favorite people. You really are. A native of Bluefield, West Virginia, she earned a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in journalism from West Virginia University in Morgantown and a PhD in communication studies from the Ohio University. She was an award-winning 38-year public broadcasting professional from 1997 to 2011. Dr. Lewis provided leadership for WOUB, public media, and taught in the Scripps College of Communication. She is a WOUB Director and General Manager Emerita. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Lewis.
Vibrant and thriving because of our nominees soon to be introduced. On behalf of the Mayor and the Commission, I sincerely thank you for taking the time to nominate your candidate and to obtain letters of support. We also appreciate those who provided letters as well. They all were extremely thoughtful. Barbara Conover was nominated by Gladys Stern and Susan Guilford with letters of support from Anna Hedges, Marilyn Foster, and her presenter today, Rita Oberholzer, a longtime member of the Athens Village and currently the village's public information team on the team. Rita and Barbara, would you please come forward? Barbara is an Americans with Disabilities Act consultant. Gladys Stern says she brings generosity, kindness, and good skill to her work.
Susan is going to give a brief overview of all the things that Barbara has done for the community. As a member of the village, I'm going to tell you then all the things that she has done for me and for the village itself. Susan?
Hi, I'm Susan Guilford. Thanks for everyone to coming out today. Really appreciate it. But I'm very thankful to have Barbara Conover as a very important person in my life. She has made such a huge difference for a segment of the Athens population that I also consider a minority as persons with disabilities, the older population, the senior citizens population in Athens. Barbara has made such a huge difference in their lives. I'm going to put this piece of paper on your chair here. This picture that you have here behind you, this is Barbara teaching Tai Chi for arthritis and balance, falls prevention. I always get that wrong. So she decided that this was something very important because at the Athens Village, we noticed that so many of our members were falling. And how can we help them prevent falls? So she went through the training, and she decided she's going to teach these classes. And happily, the Athens City Parks and Recreation, something like that, they offer these classes free to all the seniors. Yay. Thank you, City of Athens, for that. That's a terrific thing to do. I work with Barbara in the office of the Athens Village, and every day I learn something else about the fabulous things that she has done for senior citizens in Athens. She used to work with housing for senior citizens in the Plains, and she used to be on the commission. As Mayor Patterson noted, she was on the original Commission for Disabilities. And just so many things that she has done. I'm not going to tell you because time is short. I'll let Rita tell you of some specific examples that she has helped Rita with in her work with the Athens Village.
Thank you. When I first met Barbara, it was just a very few years ago, lesson 3, and I was on the Public Information Committee, and I knew instantly that Barbara had some qualities that were going to be so good for our village, because in my work before I retired, I was sort of in public relations. I knew how important contacts and knowing agencies were. All the things that I'm going to mention are things that she's instituted in this very short time. One of the classes I'm in is Tai Chi, and you can see as I was getting up the steps, I really need it. And not one of her best students, because sometimes I think I have two left feet. She's also worked with other agencies, the senior citizen, well, in the community center. I get all these agencies mixed up. And the hospital to have a pain clinic, which older people have pain. And this was a 6-week class to show us how we can manage pain and cope with chronic pain. It was excellent, and I got so much information and so many good books. She also had 2 students that she recruited to help with all the new tech devices. I never had an iPhone until last spring, and my family lived so far away that this has been a boon. And Amy, the young woman who helped me, was so patient and so great. She also has instituted with Athens On Demand, which is a wonderful service. So many of us can't drive it in the evening anymore, and of course in Athens you know what the parking problem is. And so with special lectures at OU, concerts, anything that several of the members of the village would like to attend, she has arranged with Athens On Demand to work later some evenings with 1 or 2 people to drive the vans so they can take people to these events. Athens On Demand picks you up at your home and delivers you back to the door of your home and leaves you off at the place where the concert or whatever is going to be. It's a wonderful service, and she got a grant, and so we don't have to pay for it. And that has been wonderful for people that want to get out in the evening. She arranges members to get together with luncheons and dinners. In fact, every other month we have a dinner where all the members, or as many members that want to come to the restaurant can. And it's a time for fellowship and interaction. She also makes sure that there are safety measures in each home, so that we don't have, we have bathroom rails and everything to help us. And so the village has helped a great deal in that. Barbara has helped me in so many different ways, and I appreciate her friendship. So thank you.
have a plaque for each nominee that you will get as you Stephanie Morris was nominated by Anita Louise Martin, with support letters from Becky Martin, Todd Baskin, Jessica Fletcher, Jeffrey Bernheim, and Dr. Geis. She's the program coordinator for music therapy in the Ohio School of Music. Dr. Geis and Stephanie, please come forward. Stephanie improves the quality of the life of students with disabilities. Jeffrey Berline says she is always so dedicated and involved. I cannot say enough good things about her. Dr. Geis.
I apologize. I have no voice. I will do my best, and please. I didn't have time to get somebody to speak for me, but can you hear me? Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. When I read that the person receiving this award would be someone who works tirelessly on behalf of persons with disabilities, I realized that Stephanie Morris, my friend and music therapy colleague, fits this description perfectly. I am the program coordinator of music therapy at Ohio University. I've had the honor to work with Stephanie when she was a graduate student, then as a faculty colleague, where she guest lectured for many of our classes, and now currently as a music therapy clinician, where she provides clinical supervision for our undergraduate and graduate students. She is always thinking about ways to encourage our students to grow in their practice and help them feel empowered to do so. I'm going to tear up and then I won't have any voice. Stephanie told me near the end of her graduate training that her passion was to help adults with disabilities not only transition successfully from school to the community, but also to help them find community, arts-based experiences that were meaningful and empowering, specifically with music. As the research is telling us, having community-based, meaningful experiences in the arts is not only a social determinant, but necessary for our current and long-term health and well-being. There's research on it. It's amazing. Stephanie has presented her own research regionally and nationally about community music-based opportunities for adults with developmental disabilities. As we all know, she has created a very successful and sustainable arts-based community experience, the Athens County Community Singers, who have also performed regionally and nationally. This was created in 2013, but since then she's also created the Beacon School Choir in 2016. These choir members and their families, as well as the community of Athens at large, are very lucky to have her not only advocating for experiences for adults with developmental disabilities, but ensuring that they can have the best arts-based experience possible. In fact, Stephanie is also a music therapist in our own Ohio University Music Therapy Clinic. I had the pleasure to observe her facilitate an end-of-the-year concert for her clients last spring. It was such a joy to see these children and adults who receive music therapy services perform and feel empowered. To me, Stephanie is the perfect person for this award due to her long-term and continued advocacy for arts-based experiences for families of children and adults with developmental disabilities in the Athens area. Thank you.
Corey Corrigan, Donna Collins, Jenny Niftiger, Housework, Maureen Wagner, and Leslie Shallow. Dr. Bouvier, Associate Director for University Accessibility, Ohio, will present Passion Work Studio. Dr. Bouvier, please come forward with the board members present, Dr. Carter, Dr. Connie Patterson, founder and executive director Patty Mitchell, and Passion Work Studio staff Wendy Miner and others. The flower, the pen, the note cards, puppets, community engagement, and more. Passion Work is a model, Dr. Carter says, is success rests in part with the tireless efforts of the staff as they work to dignify and liberate the human spirit through the arts.
Thanks, Carolyn. Good evening, everyone. First, I really wanted to thank the City Commission and especially the Education and Outreach Committee for putting this award together. I think all of us are winners. All of us in this room are recognizing the importance of making accessibility and inclusion part of our community. And so I really appreciate that you're doing that. We as a board feel like Passion Works represents that. And as the president of the board, I'm really honored to serve in that role. I'd like to introduce the other members of the board: Lynn Harder, Jen Foyle, and who else is? Oh, Connie, you're here. Connie Patterson, and Danny Corrigan couldn't come today, but she's with us in spirit. Serving on the board, I think Passion Works is one of those places that everyone thinks things magically happen, and they are all wonderful, and they're colorful, and they're light, and they bring joy, and they're whimsical. But there's a lot of work that goes on to making that happen. And I think as board members, we've gotten to get a little more of an intimate look into what that is. And so I think the staff are just phenomenal. They're artistic, they're talented, they're great problem solvers, they are entrepreneurial, they are production gurus, they have strong business acumen, they sort of have pulled a lot of organizing, coordinating volunteers, bringing many, many facets of our community together in connection with the studio. So, and it's not just the, sorry, I lost my place. So it's not just the awesome work that they do, but it's really how they do it. We witness such care, humor, kindness, and a really strong commitment that they demonstrate when they're fulfilling the studio's mission, which is to inspire and liberate the human spirit through the arts. So tonight we celebrate Nancy Epling, raise your hand, Mallory Valentor, Wendy Miner-Vinny, Stephanie Robinson, and Susan Delohe, who aren't here, but they are also here in spirit and in hard work. And also my dear friend from a long, many years is Patty Mitchell, who's the executive director and the founder of Passion Works. I don't know how many of you know the story, but Passion Works began in 1998. It was through an Ohio Arts Council grant as an artistic option for those who lived with developmental differences. And at the time, they were working in the ATCO sheltered workshop in town. Over time, the studio has really evolved. And 2 years ago, it became its own independent 501c3 organization. So now Passion Works serves as a collaborative community art center where differences and celebrating people's passions are really at the center of all art making. I thought would just want to take a show of hands to say how many of you actually have a passion flower at home? How many of you have given a passion flower to someone else as a gift? How many of you have attended the Honey for the Heart Parade? How many of you got to see the amazing exhibit that was at the Kennedy Museum last year with the artist's work? It's I think it's hard to turn a corner or go into a store or a shop like Casa or Fluffs or anywhere without seeing some sign of PassionWorks. And to me, it's not only the physical making of things, but it's also the spirit of community that it's engendered. And even as time goes on, we've developed even more kinds of ways of collaborating. And it's made our community richer. It gives us a way to say, this is the kind of community we want to be. So all of us on the board, we are so proud of this team. And we're really grateful to have the opportunity to share that sentiment with you and to let them know that. So thank you.
Professor and Associate Director for Undergraduate Studies in the Ohio School of Communication Studies, will present Dr. J.W. Smith. He was nominated by Dr. Stephanie Cochran, Associate Professor of Communication in the School of Communication Studies. And with support from Dr. Miller and Bobby Nelson. Dr. Miller and Dr. Smith, please come forward. Dr. Smith has an uncanny ability to reach people of all abilities and from all walks of life. Dr. Cochran says, Dr. Smith's advocacy has touched my own life. He helped her understand her nephew's rare but debilitating genetic condition through open and honest conversation. Dr. Miller.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about our colleague. Dr. Buchanan is up here standing beside our colleague, Dr. Smith. I read some time ago that all research is autobiographical. As a scholar, that meant something to me. It made sense as to what I was focusing on. But as it turns out, letters of nomination are also autobiographical. So I do want to take a couple of excerpts from some of the letters of nomination. The open and honest conversations Dr. Smith had with me helped me understand my nephew's experiences in a way he himself was not capable of vocalizing. Dr. Smith's vulnerability became my strength, empowering me not only to become a more loving and understanding aunt, but to be more involved with the issues of disability on campus and in my community. Serving as a member of the Accessibility Liaison at OU upon Dr. Smith's nomination, adapting my classes to be more inclusive, and finding ways to use my own research to help organizations like the Sturge Weber Foundation. The debt of gratitude I owe to this man can never be repaid, but I hope to at least publicly acknowledge his contributions to my own life and the lives of the differently abled around Athens and southeastern Ohio through this nomination. Another writes, on a personal level, I've had the pleasure of completing research with J.W. Smith, including an award-winning essay outlining the rhetorical strategies of Dr. Kenneth Jernigan, the former president of the National Federation of the Blind. Throughout our research, complemented by J.W.'s intimate knowledge of the organization and Dr. Jernigan, I was introduced to the importance of language, personal narratives, and leadership in a context that was both foreign but very similar to my own. Through this experience, I began to appreciate Dr. Smith's own leadership responsibilities for the differently abled communities in Athens, the state of Ohio, and across the country. What I found most fascinating was this. While we talked about the wonderful contributions of the great Dr. Kenneth Jernigan, I was sitting beside, conversing with, and riding with someone who was just as wonderful. Another individual wrote in a recent essay, "It is marvelous to know that Dr. Smith recognizes the role of the discourses and outreach play in building zones of influence in fragile teaching environments. Dr. Smith weds both the theoretical and the practical, as well as the socio-cultural aspects of his scholarships. He forges new paths in the visionary way he combines theory and practice." And now another autobiographical. "Since I arrived here in 1996, I can certainly say that the collegiality and the friendship Dr. Smith has provided me and all of his colleagues and students he has been truly inspirational. It's certainly a pleasure to speak on behalf of Dr. Smith."
So I know this was alluded to earlier this evening, and I agree 100% that all of the nominees, you're all Athena Award recipients. Trust me, the work that you do, the way you engage, and the way you change people's lives is so vital. Nominations are received on July 1st through October 1st. July 1st through October 1st. At my office, I have to give a big thank you to Patricia Whitmer, my executive assistant, who compiles a lot of these and puts them together and then forwards them on to the Commission on Disabilities. The award committee met in October and each ranked first, second, third, and fourth choices, which I'm glad I am not on that committee, and then tally them by matrix. The rankings were then voted upon by the commission as a whole and then affirmed by my office. We are pleased to present the 2019 Athena Award to Dr. J.W. Smith. Dr. Jalali, if you would join me up, as well as former Mayor Rick Abel. Dr. Smith, it is with great honor to present you with the 5th Athena Award. Sir.
Let me hand you the microphone.
What can we do to empower as many of us as possible to live full and productive lives? My name is J.W. Smith, and I teach communication studies in the School of Communication Studies at Ohio University. I started the National Federation of the Blind of Southeast Ohio chapter here in 1994 and served as president for 14 years. I served on the Governor's Council, Ohio Governor's Council of People with Disabilities from 1998 to 2001. One of the biggest honors for me was to be chosen like the National Blind Educator of the Year. It was a dream for me for years to even be considered for that award. Now serving as the vice chair of the State Rehabilitation Council, I get a chance to impact so many lives in that regard. But I'll tell you one thing that I really like, and that's buying coffee for people at my favorite coffee shop. I buy my coffee and lose some money and say, hey, next man up. I started that a few years ago and it just gave me such a thrill. And I'll go sometime with somebody with breakfast or dinner and I'll say, look around. Is there anybody you feel that we can bless today? And I just love picking up that tab, you know. What we need now, in my opinion, are more visibly active people who are differently able. I'm not saying just go hire somebody because they're differently able. But once we start giving people like me good jobs and visible jobs and meaningful positions, that's a step in the right direction, in my opinion. You gotta release what I call the limitations default. When you meet somebody who's differently able, immediately your default goes to limitations. Okay, what can't they do? What do we have to adapt for? What accommodation do we need? Let's release that default and let's start with, wow, what are the possibilities here? What do they bring to this department? What do they bring to this sphere? What do they bring to this club, this house, that we haven't even thought about before because of their uniqueness? We have got to change our priorities. Things that impact the differently able can't be, well, if there's stuff left, if there's stuff left over, we'll use it. We got to change that thinking. And I'd say to you, why not start now?
Every Wednesday when I go to the union, I think about 1992 when I came here to interview. Right in that room. I never thought that, one, I would be here that long. Knew that I would be up here tonight. So I want to thank all the nominees for being here and the wonderful work you're doing. And I want to thank my wife for putting up with me for 32 years. And my life so much easier because she just keeps the stability and the consistency in our family, in our home. And I want to thank my colleagues I don't even have words to express to you both. And Stephanie, she's my shopper. She gets these shirts for me. She knows I like to be cool, or at least pretend like I am.
No pretending.
And the mayor here, who puts on all my idiosyncratic behavior. But Carolyn, I have to say something before I go, and then I'm done, I promise you. So I told my wife today, the last time I came here was when Steve Patterson had his celebration after his first election. Carolyn and I came, and Robin. And little did I know after that I would see Carolyn for almost 2 years. You know, she got really sick. And almost died a couple times. And I had the honor of inviting her to my class to speak last this spring. And I just lost it because I didn't think I'd ever see her again. And I didn't think I'd ever hear her speak the passion that she brings to this topic. And by the time she was done in that class, we were all crying. And I'll never forget it, Carolyn. I love you so much, Carolyn. I appreciate all you've done here. And keep it up. You know, you're the best teammate I've ever had in this kind of work. And I'm done.
Dr. Smith, I don't think there's a dry eye in the room. Congratulations again. And we want to thank all the nominees for their tremendous work. Next year, we will be opening up the nominees once again, July 1st through October 1st for the 6th Annual Athena Award. Another thing that I want to mention is that there will be a call for artists, because the Athena Award that you've just seen, which I have to mention, it was designed by Kevin Morgan. Kevin and I sat down in his studio way out in the lovely countryside and brainstormed what the Athena Award should look like, and he found a glass blower and a woodworker, and we melded the two together and made this beautiful piece of art. But we only had 6 of them made, so we are going to have a call for artists. So that we'll have a new award. It'll still be the Athena Award, but a new design for 2021. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. There's also on your chairs, there's takeaways. We encourage you to look at them. Takeaway card for information about what the commission does, and contact information on the commission for people who want the commission to come and speak to various clubs, agencies, organizations, or groups. The commission also has an accessibility committee, And I know my friend Noah Tremblay, who's sitting in the front row, really kind of led that charge with several other people to conduct regular audits on accessibility, everything from parking studies to facilities to streets, the business layout and whatnot. So also look to engage with the Accessibility Commission if you think there are questionable spaces. Along with that, the city has what's called the City Source app. I encourage all of you to download that app. Again, I know the Commission on Disabilities has been very active in making sure that gets out there. They actually did a walk and roll in the uptown area and elsewhere to look at what to someone who's temporarily able-bodied, that quarter to a half-inch gap or rise in a sidewalk becomes an insurmountable barrier to others. So that app is out there for us to use. That information gets loaded to the either engineering and public works or the code office or the police department, the fire department, whatever the service is, and we have to respond to that, and we do. So keep that in mind as well. Part of the accessibility committee I want to mention is that Rob Delac, who's here tonight, I believe he's still here. There he is in the back. Rob was key in getting this developed for the City of Athens with the Accessibility Committee. So thank you, Rob. The commission committees, our commission committees are busy at work, and I want to thank them. And remember, the commission meets every Wednesday, every third Wednesday. Believe me, if left unleashed, they would meet every Wednesday. Then the next meeting, or with the exception of December, they meet at 5:30 at the community center. Those are open meetings, and everybody is welcome to engage. I also want you to know that you can certainly reach out to Davey if you need any help or questions about things going on with the Commission on Disabilities. I want to acknowledge media photography that's here today. We've got Ohio University graduate student Sari. Thank you also to the government channel. Who's here? Somewhere. Oh, there he is in the back. Ryan's capturing me live right now as I speak. Ryan and Scott Thompson for live streaming the event and archiving it on the city's Facebook page. Video that you heard tonight, so thank you, Claire. As well as we really appreciate the assistance of Joan and Samora. Thank you both. I also want to thank Paige Fuentes and Emily Beveridge from the Arts West, our lovely facility here. So thank you for all that you do. And finally, I have one last announcement to make. I think this is a plug that Emily wanted me to throw out there for everyone. There is a concert here at Arts West featuring Galen Lee, American folk singer, violinist, public speaker, and disabilities advocate from Duluth, Minnesota. She won the NPR's Tiny Desk Contest. The date is Thursday, October 14th at 7 p.m. here in Arts West. I'm sorry, what did I say? Yeah. Elections do that to you. November 14th. I don't want to be back in October, trust me. She was born with a genetic condition that causes complications with her bones and limbs. In attendance attendance at this by all of you, by the City of Athens, county officials. Chris Knisely is here. City Council President, City Administrators, University, community members, agencies, civics clubs, our Veteran Service Office. It is greatly appreciated that you're all here tonight. Special thanks to Davey and the Commission for the 2019 Athena Award Committee, co-chaired by Barry and Dr. Carolyn Lewis. Also want to thank Provost Jalali, Mayor Abel. I want to thank you to all the nominators and in particular the nominees. Congratulations again, Dr. J.W. Smith and all nominees and everyone who is invited to remain. You're all invited to remain for some deliciousness that's in the back of the room. Refreshments from Sweet Arts Bakery and I want you to enjoy the rest of the evening. So thank you for being here.